Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Good evening. We're here to take a look at some of the problems in the news over the last week and try and see if we can help them out. Like, for example, we're not the only ones solving problems. Education Secretary Gavin Williamson this week removed bubbles, which makes it sound like Michael Jackson's cleaner on a very dark day. But it's a step in the right direction, apparently, and maybe we'll get stuck into those kind of topics. If you've got any problems that you'd like to chat about, you got the link. You can get into the thing on the YouTube. You can do some of the chatting. We've got the little chat box up. We'll engage. We'll interact. Look at that. That's what you get. A little special treatment. If you are, as we've only just started, if you'd like to help out, you could share the link around a few places. That'd be good. Get some eyes into our solutions. As we plow on as well, we'll be talking about the fact that you could help keep this project alive by chucking some money into our Ko-fi link. More mentions of that to come. If you've pre-bought tickets, good on you. I'm amazed you managed to, given that we moved to Thursday from Wednesday. Some sort of sport. Oh yeah, we changed times as well. We were 9:30 until recently, so we're 9 these days. We will be back to Wednesdays at some point. This is a one-off Thursday until eventually we go Tuesdays. I don't know what's happening. No one does.
It's going to be a busy summer. There's things going on. We've got so many places that we can't go.
Yeah, we might as well do this instead. Yay. So, meanwhile, Mr. Eric McElroy, the question is, what's your first one?
Well, the first problem I'm going to check on is that I noticed that we put a couple links out there where to watch the show, and the one that I think still has 5 people waiting, it does not have everybody watching on the same stream. So I'm just going to go into that stream and tell them to go back to our channel and join us there because they are missing out. So give me 1 second to get people off of the bad stream. You know what it's like when you cross the streams.
Don't cross the stream. Never cross the stream.
Classic. Sorry, come join us here.
And Martin already says, so where the hell are your Italian England shirts? Ooh, still tasty. And Geordie Womble, who's found their way onto a dangling Twitch stream because they couldn't get YouTube working. The YouTube that's on the screen, that's the one that's working, yeah? If you go to youtube.com/comic solving problems, can you find it? I'm not even checking myself.
It is there. I think the one that we thought would work isn't working.
Yeah. Well, it was worth a test. Mark says, oh, here you are. Here we are. Here we are.
There's so many YouTubes. Let's just make sure no one's still says 4 people are waiting.
I wouldn't worry about it too much because everyone else who's on the other channle are currently watching you watching someone wait.
There we go. Like so there we go. First problem solved. Look at that. Without jokes.
Wow.
Which is like most of the problems that we solve.
Yeah.
At least that I solve.
We now have the YouTube link available in the the Twitch. Probably going to get banned for that, but hell yeah.
Here we go. All right. So shall I do it properly now?
Yep. Take it away.
Cool. This is a problem of free speech, Steve, which is, it's been a problem that we've been hearing a lot about. Our free speech is being infringed. Apparently, it's being taken away from us. Initially when I saw this headline, that's not the problem I thought we'd be talking about today, because I saw this. Basically, it's that Donald Trump is suing Facebook and so on because he says that they've taken away his free speech. But when I originally just glanced at the photo, I thought he had come out to say, "Where's Melania? I've not seen her since I left the White House." Because if you notice, she's not there, and she's no one has seen her. So I thought that's what he was doing. But he's not looking for her. He's just looking for attention. But what he is doing is he is suing the big tech companies. And he's come out and he's actually, this is where Trump, sometimes reading from a teleprompter, can come across as quite serious and forthright, like he does here.
Today, in conjunction with the America First Policy Institute, I'm filing as the lead class representative a major class action lawsuit against the big tech giants, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter.
I do miss some of his speeches. There's some things I miss about it, like the way that he sort of, when he's reading something clearly for the first time, he sort of brings back a word, like he's belching it out. Like, I can't do the belch speak thing, but I can belch, but I can't say words and belch.
Oh, can you do the alphabet?
I can just belch.
Okay.
Just be. No, I can't.
Okay.
He did well. I'm not going to do it because I know how much you don't like it. he made it to that part, but he clearly hadn't pre-read all of what he was meant to say as he was announcing the lawsuit, as we can see right here.
As well as their CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai.
Pichai. He's got the belch move and the Pichai. Donald, from one person who can't say other people's names to another, always spell it phonetically. Hydroxychloroquine. That's my secret. I've got it written out. You can't even imagine what it's spelled like because it doesn't matter. It's what you're saying that matters. But the thing is, why is he so upset with big tech?
There is no better evidence that big tech is out of control than the fact that they banned the sitting president of the United States earlier this year, a ban that continues to this day.
I don't think they've banned the sitting president because I'm looking right here at, President Biden's been tweeting within the last hour. The sitting president's just doing perfectly fine on social media. But he's just upset about it. Let's see. He's worried about, why did they do it? Exactly. Why did they ban him back when he was president?
If they can do it to me, they can do it to anyone.
Yes, they can do it to anyone who says racist, misleading things or things that might lead to an actual insurrection against the United States. They can do that if you say those things. They don't just do it to anyone. You have to do those certain things. Racist, anti-science, those kind of things. But who else could they do it to, Steve? Could they do it to us? Could they do it to you? Could they do it to me?
They can do it to anyone. And in fact, that is exactly what they're doing. They're taking people off who don't even realize they were taken off.
Now, I'm going to posit that if you don't know that you've been taken off Twitter or Facebook, you're probably not a big user.
Yeah.
You're not really going to mind. I mean, both of us have a number of different Twitter accounts, because we like to retweet our own things, basically. But I can't keep track of all the accounts I have. There's literally dozens of them. If one of them got removed, I wouldn't think they're taking away my free speech. I would just think it meant that they were doing a cull of the bots.
Yeah.
Got my own little family of bots. My kids all have accounts that they don't actually use. Now, the question is, he's trying to make a case about the infringement of his free speech. Now, who's he got to kind of stand up and defend this legal argument that he's been putting forward? He's got an ally who defended him in the impeachment, a lawyer named Alan Dershowitz. I think you've probably seen Alan Dershowitz over the years. He's defended OJ. He's defended Trump. And he's defended Jeffrey Epstein. So basically, if you find out that Alan Dershowitz is defending you, you're a racist murderer pedophile.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of his MO, allegedly.
OJ was racist?
I know, who knew? But he didn't touch kids, just killed people. So what has Alan got to say about the legal merits of this particular case?
This is the most important First Amendment case of the 21st century, and it's important because it pits freedom of speech on the one hand against the First Amendment on the other hand. That may sound paradoxical.
Yes, it may sound paradoxical, Alan, because it's complete bullshit is what it is. Because constitutionally protected free speech in the United States basically starts by saying Congress shall make no laws. Now, I haven't checked lately, but Facebook and Twitter, well, let's just say they weren't in Hamilton, okay?
Yeah.
They weren't around back then. So them deciding to use you is actually them exercising their free speech. They don't have to have you on their platforms. The government can't say you couldn't go on Facebook or Twitter. That would be attacking your free speech. That's what it means. So if Alan, he's a Harvard professor. He is a distinguished lawyer. He's been around for decades and decades and decades. Why is he making this political argument, which everyone knows is going to get laughed out of court?
That's why I call this the new censorship. The old censorship was...
I hope that you're reaching for what I think you're reaching for, Steve, at that moment, because it looked like you were going down. Because basically what Alan was doing there in that clip, and if you see again what he's doing, the new censorship, what does he reach and grab? If I can go
That's
back to
why
it
I call this the new censorship. The old censorship was...
He just grabs his book. He's got a book to sell. That's what he's trying to talk about. I've got this box of Kleenex to sell. Steve, you've got a book. I should have told you to have one handy.
Yeah,
that's why he's doing this. Sorry. But I mean, basically, he's not doing this because he gives a shit about freedom of speech. He wants to sell books. And it's the same for Donald Trump, because the same time Donald Trump was saying that he was going to sue all these people, I got this email in the old inbox, because I'm still a subscriber to his mailing list. My team and I are taking on big tech. We are suing the big tech tyrants, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. And they want money to help, because of course they need money to help, because Donald Trump is broke. He's not a billionaire. He's a billionaire asking people who don't have any money to give him money. And to be fair, if you do give Donald Trump money, you deserve it. I don't have any. Do you have any? No sympathy for these people. So if you click on the link in the email, it takes you to this page here, where Donald Trump is kind of, I don't know if he's giving somebody a hand job. I'm not quite sure what that gesture means. If you zoom, this is the organization that he set up, the America First Policy Institute, which is where all of your money is going to go. If you zoom in there, we can look a little bit more. Big tech is not just censoring the president. They're censoring everyday Americans like you. Because if you've gotten this far, you're probably a racist as well. I think is kind of the message that is there. But what I love in that page that you link to there, Steve, is not just the message that's in the text, which is just trying to get people to give their money that they probably don't have because they're poor, because Donald Trump was president. But what I love is the image behind the president himself. If you zoom in, they've just got a giant brain.
Misleading.
What does that have to do with an argument against free speech or these policy things? And that is because Donald Trump is always trying to talk about his brain. He's still talking about that cognitive test that he took all those ages ago. Remember the whole person, woman, man, camera TV thing? Yeah. He was at the border recently and on Hannity, and he was still going on about the cognitive test.
I won't get you in trouble with these comments.
We aced it. I think I can say that I aced it.
Did he get one? He didn't get one question wrong, did he? 30 out of 30.
Yeah. He's still bragging about how he did on this cognitive test that they only give to people when they're worried about your cognitive functions. And the guy he yelled out to is like, he did well, didn't he? Was the doctor who administered the test, who's now in Congress, running off the back of the fact he's like, I helped Donald Trump. Like, he's the doctor that said that Donald Trump would live to be 200, which is true because he's so full of preservatives. But we actually have, because it was a tricky test, Steve, and we actually have one of the questions that Donald Trump had, one of the things that he had to say to pass the test right here.
Sunder Buche.
Nailed it.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
Yep. So there we go.
I love that he didn't even
free
remember
speech
he got
action.
30 out of 30. I mean, surely you should now retrospectively fail that test. Someone remember my score? Oh, sorry, mate. You just take one off.
It's amazing. But it's a grift. It's all a grift. It's a grift. Alan Dershowitz is on the grift. He's on the grift. But while I'm thinking about that, if you haven't already, please go to our Ko-fi page.
It's a grift.
It's a grift. That's what we're trying to run on multiple streams.
Yeah, it's flipping hard work to get these pennies, but
that's hard work.
We should do it the Trump way, but we're slightly too moral. Damn.
Yeah, I know. Stupid morals. Oh, we could be regulars on a new TV channel. Anyway, let's see. Go through the comments here. People have found us. Before we get into my news story, though, an important question from our regular viewers. How's your tongue?
It's still got the dissolvable stitches in it. So last Wednesday, I had some tongue surgery, had a little lump taken out, and I've been booked in for a doctor's appointment to talk about the results of it, but it's not, I don't have to go in for it. I'm going to get a phone call to hear of the quality of the tongue lump that I produce. But it's got soluble stitches, but they're still in. Yeah. Should they not have dissolved by now? I don't know what
maybe you just need. So, but do you feel like it's closed up and stuff?
Yes, it feels like it's healing. I can say letters. I say all the letters these days. I can say words.
Give us an S.
With S.
Go on.
Super. Look at that. Splendid. I can do them all. Doesn't hurt. And I then had the weekend of not being able to swallow because whenever my tongue does some weird kind of body popping break dancing thing when I swallow, and that was hurting. I could do that now. It's fine. Only thing I can't do is, if you've got a bit of food left on one side of your mouth, your tongue normally just tries to do a little sweep. If I do that, it hurts, but that always happens when I'm not really paying attention. Like, I've got a bit of food. I don't do that. So you're fully up to date.
More importantly, can you still do Gollum?
You know what? I struggle now. We're only on one cam because normally we'd cut to the other one. It's because we're stupid. I can definitely do the impression better.
It's there.
I think I need to crush my windpipe a bit when I'm looking at it.
pipe. All right, we'll have to go back to getting another camera.
There we go.
There you go. Oh, that's what people care about. And which media giant was covering it? I'm not sure if that's about your tongue.
My tongue.
I don't know where that question was coming from, Mark. Mark has said RSBN's unbeatable live coverage of Trump events proves to be deeply resonating with Americans who simply want to see and hear the truth the mainstream media hides. I get this done their slogan, which is right side broadcasting, making Fox look like chickens.
Nice.
That's Mark's slogan there. It's nice, isn't it? Chris Curling says, good track record then. Great lawyer. Yeah, he is. He also says, Donald classes, you as a friend, according to that smell, Eric. I'd be worried. Donald classes. Maybe.
Donald classes you as a friend, according to that email. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I see. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, he doesn't know my name. That's definitely an email you write to somebody whose name you've forgotten.
Yeah. I'm
just in a database that they bought. And Martin S. says, dissolvable. Keep sucking those lemons.
Is it acid that does it? Yeah. Okay. I'll work on that. I was thinking hot drinks. I'm back on the hot drinks. I can have coffee again now. Sweet mercy. That was an excellent experience. Not the coffee, but the pill afterwards.
Brilliant. Yeah. So there, I think we're up to date.
In that case, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself sat down as we sort out another problem. I need to get us up to date with what's happening in mask news, because it's kind of a COVID update. This show started with COVID-y stuff, so let's do the update. We hear that mask law and the 1 meter rule set to end in England. No longer will you be legally required to wear a mask. And I think it's worth remembering right now that in the before times, BC, we were always legally allowed to wear a mask. That was just a right that we had. You could put one on. You could dress up as Spider-Man. You could, dress up as Nicole Kidman in Eyes Wide Shut. Depends what you want to do on the weekend, but the point is you could pop a mask on, boom, and that's absolutely fine. There were some restrictions, of course. You couldn't wear a crash helmet into a bank, and there were certain face coverings that if you wore those, Boris Johnson would write in The Guardian saying you look like a letterbox. But, so in general, you can put them on. It's free. Absolutely. We've always had that privilege. And it's worth remembering as we start to head into this new battleground, mask wearing, because people who have spent months saying, well, I think wearing a mask should be a personal choice. It should be a personal choice whether you wear a mask or not. Finally get told it's a personal choice. And they seem to spend all their time on Twitter going, you shouldn't wear a mask. Why don't you respect my personal choice? How quickly that changed. Some of the people who are anti-maskers are so angry. Here's a picture of some of the stuff they were holding up. Take off your mask. Without a mask, would you know there was a pandemic? Yeah, because of all the dead people in my family, your mask not wearing pillock. And I love the thing, exclamation mark down the bottom. They're patronising even in laminated A4 form. How do they manage it? People who don't like masks really are like trying to control whether you wear one or not. It's ridiculous. Stick to your own face, and I'll stick to mine. There are many people putting forward two sides of the argument. For example, the chairman of the British Medical Association, who's a doctor, says it makes no sense to stop wearing the face masks because you've got the Delta variant. And I think part of it is it's almost zero cost, isn't it? There are many times when you can just put on a mask. Not the no skin off your nose because it's covered by the mask. Those kind of things. Some other people aren't in favour of it. A good example of that would be the 90s pop group Right Said Fred, who tweeted that they don't like people who wear masks. So there's the guy who's in charge of the British Medical Association, a doctor, and the people from Right Said Fred. Someone who's qualified versus someone who thought they were too sexy to wear a shirt, let alone a mask. God, it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to work out who to believe. It's confusing because we know from Right Said Fred that they were so sure that they were too sexy to wear a shirt. I'm not surprised that they don't think you can wear a mask and be sexy. Although, having said that, I do think you can probably manage to wear a mask and be sexy. Hell yeah. But go back to their tweet for a second. It says that thanks everyone for wearing a mask. Saves me a great deal of time. It tells me I don't need to talk to you, know you, work with you, or try to understand your mumblings. You are superfluous to requirements. You've not had a hit since the 90s. Why are you throwing out the concept of being useless? And don't get me wrong, I used to really like Right Said Fred, even when it wasn't popular to do so. They were bald brethren, so I've got to give them some credit there. And actually, some of the songs were all right. I like, some of them, it's all good fun. But why do they have to start to get involved in this? Other pop groups don't. I got no idea what Bananarama think about it, and I'm perfectly happy with that. If Right Said Fred wanted to give me other advice, like tell me what to do with my soldiers and my soft-boiled egg, bring it on, because I do like to get deeply dippy. But when it comes to this mask thing, just rein it in a bit. Is it possible to be sexy wearing a mask? Yes, we've proved it. Is it possible to be sexy not wearing a mask? Apparently so, as Boris Johnson didn't wear one as he came back from the England game, and there must be something sexy about him. No one really understands why. But look, if I was to have a say on this, it would be, stick to your own face. There must be times when, now it's not legally required, if it's too uncomfortable to wear one, yeah, sure, take it off. Oh, it's difficult when you're on a train and it's too hot, take it off for a bit. If you've not been vaccinated, maybe think about wearing it more. If you've been fully vaccinated, maybe give yourself less pressure. But don't stop other people from doing it. It's personal choice is what I'm saying. You can't have so much vaccine that you wouldn't be allowed to wear a mask. You can't be that vaccinated that it would be a problem. You can't be too vaccinated for a mask. Or to put it another way,
I'm too vaccine for this mask, but it's all up to me. I'm too vaccine for this gel, too vaccine for hand gel, but I still like the smell. And I'm too vaccine for this bug, but I don't want to hug. And I'm too vaccine for these rules, but I'm not a big tool. I've been vaccinated, you know what I mean, but the word is really vaccinated. It's vaccinated, yeah, but it's too long if I say vaccinated. I'm too vaccine for your tweet, too vaccine for your it's silly, a silly tweet. And I'm too vaccine for this man, but I won't shake his hand. And I'm too vaccine for this song.
So there we have it. That's what I spent my day doing. Do you remember the days when I used to be able to record music videos? I got more spare time again.
The days are back.
Those days are
The
back.
days are back.
Chris Curling says, Right Said Fred method. Hella yeah.
Nice.
Ain't it those simple things?
Oh my goodness. How long did that take you?
That was a considerable amount of time. if I'm brutally honest. Yeah. Well, because it was made worse by the fact that I wanted to edit it on the main computer, but that flipping crashed and I couldn't open up the video thing. So I sat there on a laptop annoyingly clicking away trying to fit it all in. But hey, it works, doesn't it? It works.
It was great. It was beautiful. I don't know if Charlotte's here this evening. She's always the biggest fan of your singing, but hopefully she'll catch it on Watchback.
And what I like about doing the music video ones for this, it takes 5 times as long as any other content that I do, and then I trim it down as a clip, and then I put it on TikTok. About 3 people who watch the music ones. I don't understand how the algorithm just goes, nah, not that. I make some comment about masks. The rest of the mask stuff, it could do all right. I made some vaccine comment on the show on TikTok a while ago. We got like 150,000 views. Do a music video, 8 views. Bloody.
Bless. Dear.
Some more comments coming in on this, actually. There's Tom who says, I love a Steve song, but I'm glad he's not too vaccinated for his gingham shirt. Why, thank you. Chris says, it took you a while due to the dance moves. Yeah, because I've got them all going. Okay.
Yeah.
Shades of North says, right on, Steve. Victoria says, missed the bit due to a technical glitch. Presumably, all the docs and dentists are superfluous to Fred's requirements. If you wear a mask. Yeah, beekeepers can jog on. And then Britt says, hi, D. Who's D? Oh, sorry. Hi, D. Hi. Sorry. Literally.
See, I'm glad I'm not the only one that occasionally gets stumped by the comments. Like when I'm like, who's my friend Donald Trump? And then forgetting you know, because that was not the part I was focused on.
Yeah.
So it happens to the best of us. Some of us just say Mimi.
Mimi. Mark says, have we finally laid to rest the ghost of 9 to 5? I'm sure I can bring that back. I missed not only the song, but a dance as well. No. There is. I could play us out with it if you wanted. If I just remember where the file is.
At the very end.
Yeah.
If we can do that, that'd be nice. We've never played out with a song before. Yeah. And before we get too far, I do want to say thank you to Chris Curling. He's just made a very generous Ko-fi. So if anybody else wants to join the curling, is that the right phrase there? We appreciate any support. We like you watching, but any support is nice as well.
Yeah. Definitely need some of that there support to keep this this little thing trickling across, because we'll get through the summer, and then I think we're becoming one of the longest running non-stand-up but stand-up comedian live streaming internet topical shows. In fact, in that particular substrata, we might be number one, and indeed the only one.
I think so. Yeah. We were actually, the people from the British Comedy Guide said we were one of the few online projects that began in lockdown and has not yet stopped. Yet. Because we still aren't gigging as much as some of our contemporaries.
Yep. God.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you'd like to keep us from staring into that particular abyss so much that it stares back, Ko-fi.com/comic solving problems.
There we go. So, ready for another problem, Steve?
Boom. Hit me.
This is a problem that you don't have yet, but it's one that actually I've been dealing with for a while, and it's a problem with being famous and having kids. Because, so I may have told you this off air, but when, I've been on television a little bit, not on some of the things that you were on, but, I've been on a little bit of Sky, a little bit of Newsnight, a little bit of GB News, hitting all the big boxes. Yeah. And when my daughter joined year 7 at her new school and started to mix and mingle with other children in her age group, she knows that I do things on television. And she's proud of me, my daughter, which is quite nice. She's gotten older now, so now she's more ashamed. But at the time, in year 7, they're still quite naive. And so she was telling her new friends that her dad is famous because he's been on television. Of course, the problem with that is that this friend went back home to her mother and said, I'm at school with this girl whose father's famous. And the mother said, well, what's the father's name? And she told her mother my name. And the mother said, I don't know who that is because I'm not famous. It isn't really a problem that I have, but it's a problem that I would imagine having. But it is a problem if you're president of the United States and you have children, as we can see here. Hunter Biden, son of the president of the United States, has been struggling with selling some of his paintings, basically, because they get put up for sale at a gallery. And of course, people can bid on those paintings. And it might mean that people are trying to give money to Hunter Biden, not because of his, fantastic artistry, but because he's Hunter Biden, he's son of the president. You buy a painting for him for $500,000, maybe you gain some favor with the president of the United States himself. So it's got this, connotation to it. And plus, Hunter Biden is long been somebody that the Republicans have tried to, tie to the president because he's had some drug problems. He's just had some life problems, basically. His father's been in the public eye forever. He's people know that he's a Biden, and, his name's pretty distinctive. I mean, Hunter Biden. It's not, there could be other Bidens, but there's not many Hunters. And then you put the two together, you know exactly who you're talking about. Now, the gallery that is featuring this art has tried to deal with it. I'm not going to sit. That is not supposed to be the clip that is there. So I'm not sure what's happened there. This was right. Are we having this problem again?
I emptied out the folders. Definitely.
I did empty the folders. That's right. Hold on. Let's see what is right and what's wrong. Nope, that's old. Well, this is going to be fun. I'm going to do the setups. I'm going to do the setups to different jokes and see what happens. How did this happen again, Steve? We checked it. Did we? Did they go into the other E thing? Let me just check down there real quick. So, no, there's nothing there. All right, we'll just go back up here and see what things I can save from this. Otherwise, I'll just, that's not there. So what's this one? Okay. So basically, one of the things that's in the, that clip that is there is one of the best ones. So it's good that got saved. So the galleries tried to deal with this by basically saying one of the things they're not going to do when they're trying to sell Hunter Biden's paintings is they're not going to say who's buying them. They're not going to say how much they spent, and they're going to keep the money in secret somehow. The other thing they've done is they've said, okay, we're not going to put the fact that he's the son of the president of the United States in his biography on his website. for Hunter Biden, who's got one of the most distinctive names in American politics. They're going to be like, nobody knows who he is. So we've looked at the art and you think, well, is it really worth it? Right now, it's one of these pictures that I definitely think, I mean, I'm not an artist in that sense. Obviously, I'm a comedic artist.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not an artist for uploading video clips, but still an artist nonetheless. But it's definitely one of those paintings that I think when you look at it, it feels like, remember those ones from the 1980s and 90s where you look at them and after a while you could see like a dolphin in them? Do you remember those? It kind of reminds me of that.
Magic Eye pictures.
Yeah, it's like a magic eye picture. Have a look. This is actually one of Hunter Biden's paintings. Stare at it and see if you can see anything in the painting. Let's have a look here and see. Let's see. I can't quite make it out. Is it there? There it is. Oh, I wonder. Subtle. Oh, I think I see it. I don't know. It's tricky. Depends on the angle you're at. $500,000 for that.
Yeah, beautiful bargain.
500,000. So basically, I've got no idea which of these other clips are going to load.
I can tell you already that it's going to be number 4, number 5, and number 6 and 7. Are you going to struggle with? Mm-hmm. But I reckon I can get rid of the video straight away.
Okay, so if I go to if I pop down to 8,
and I've been telling all the truth.
No, that's not. That's old as well.
This is a tourist.
No, you're moving off it too quick.
All right, sorry.
Yeah. So go to whichever one you want, and then give me a second, and I can cut the video.
Okay. Well, I didn't have I mean, I was finished at 7, so I don't know what those are down there.
Don't go down to them then. Just.
Well, I didn't know if they suddenly got bumped down. This is live. Anyway, what I'll do is actually most of this I can just share with you guys because. Well, it was my favorite thing is basically I had a summary of other children and family members that had given trouble for presidents over the years. So famously, Jimmy Carter, his brother, sold Billy's beer, which was not good because Billy was an alcoholic. So it wasn't really a good association to have for president of the United States. George W. Bush, his daughter, and I wish we had this image because it's a story from the early 2000s. And so I got an actual clip of the story on CNN. And the CNN website, they haven't updated since then. It's actually an archived version of CNN website. And it's incredible. It makes me feel so old how shit their website looked back in the day when we were like, wow, this is so incredible that we can get this. It's terrible.
Well, we have all the images as long as you give me a second to cancel any video that auto plays.
Okay, there's no video in this at all.
Yeah, and that's why I'll cancel the video. That's what I'm saying.
All right, well, let's see if we can get this should be the headline then. Nope, that's not it. Oh, there you go. I see what you're doing. Now I got you. I didn't quite understand. Okay, so Hunter Biden is ethics claims, and so let's go
look at all these cats behind.
And this was another thing that happened back in the day. Truman's daughter, she sang at a concert, and Truman was so upset that a critic came forward to criticize her singing that he wrote this letter on presidential letterhead. And I love the fact that this is from the president of the United States whilst he's president. And it's because it says that you've written such poppycock at the back of your newspaper that you, like another gentleman, are a gutter snipe. I miss those days in American politics.
Gutter snipe, but I love you're an 8 ulcer man on a 4 ulcer pay or whatever it was. That was,
it's just incredible. Yeah. You know, those are the good days when politics were civilized, right? So this should be the CNN headline. Let's see here. Look at that website.
Nice.
My God. We thought that was sophisticated. 2001.
Is it on GeoCities?
So basically, I mean, it's just, I feel so old now. I mean, if my kids saw that, they'd be like, what was that? Oh my God. How did you know what anything was going on? My daughter was complaining earlier because when she plays music from her iPad onto her, Alexa, that it doesn't stop. It stops when she's using Spotify. But if she presses stop play on YouTube play music, it doesn't stop automatically.
It's tough times, isn't it?
That's what she's complaining about. This was the web 20 years ago.
Email this, print this. Oh, thank you.
No tweet. No Facebook.
If you wanted to share it, you had to print it and walk it up to someone.
Send it to someone. So I don't know if you remember that story, but basically his daughter was found drinking underage in the U.S., which was controversial. Around the same time, this is what I loved about coming to the UK, because this is right after I'd moved to the UK. Same time that George W. Bush is getting stick because his daughter's gotten drunk and when she wasn't supposed to be drinking. Here, Tony Blair's son, celebrating his GCSEs, was found in a ditch, hammered, lied to the police about his name, and the whole country just went, good lad,
Nice.
good lad. I am in a different place. Of course, talking about famous people painting, Hunter Biden's doing paintings. George W. Bush has been painting since he left office. And this is one that will make you want to upchuck. There it is. Wow. George W. Bush, self-portrait of himself in the shower. Oh, that is nasty.
How does he know what he looks like?
I would imagine he had not Barbara, that would be his mother. Somebody else in there taking his photo. Mrs. Bush.
Unless he had another mirror, because he's got that one mirror in front of him. You put another mirror behind him so that he could look into that mirror to see the mirror behind him, and then he knows what he looks like. But how do you do it watercolor if you're in the shower?
But even the angle of the mirror, like where his face is, I mean, it's terrible art. Let's just put it that way. It's just. But to be fair, he was a terrible president. I'm not quite sure. Actually, I would imagine if there was a reviewer who was going to look at that, they'd probably say something along the lines of this.
Yeah,
that's what I would imagine.
8 ulcer man on 4 ulcer pay.
But the thing is, what's incredible about this is they're saying that Hunter Biden is using his name to cash in on the presidency. Has anyone seen the Trump family? I mean, the headline today was that Trump has just charged over $10,000 to hotel rooms for the Secret Service that are guarding him at Mar-a-Lago since he left the White House.
So that's how he's making his money. That's another one of the grifts.
Yep. So there we go. So that's the problem with art and uploads.
Yeah. Look, it's really harsh to say, but George W. Bush's art looks exactly like the kind of intelligence we thought he had during those times.
But the thing is, you know what? I would take him back over Trump in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So there we go. Let's have a look at the comments and see what people thought of our technical glitch conversation and everything else. Britt says, just like COVID, you go on and on and on. Yippee.
Yep. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Chris Curling says, fame is a cruel mistress. Yes, especially when you have a teenage daughter. Mark Randall says, Eric, did your daughter say it in an American famous way or British famous way? Well, I'm neither, so it doesn't really matter. And Marcus said to Chris Curling, how much does fame charge?
Well,
fame is a cruel mistress.
Oh.
How much does she charge? Britt says, better not be fully famous than being better to not be fully famous than to be infamous. Just ask the staff at Tesco.
I found that earlier today, actually. We now have it as a go-to whenever we need it.
And that's why I'm banned from Tesco. Yeah, at least they know who I am. Chris Curling says, about the same as Priti Patel, I'm told.
Yep.
Ooh, I think it goes back to the charge and the cruel mistress. Mark says, that's cruel, and there's Priti Patel. I think I'll keep my money safe. Britt says, looks like a quilting pattern. I think that's going back to the painting
Hunter's
by
art,
Biden. Yeah. Mark thought it looked like a staircase. Shades of North says 500 grand. Yep. And he's not. Nothing to do with him being son of the president.
I could do you a painting like that for half that.
Yeah.
If you needed it.
Should that be our next goal on Ko-fi?
Yeah. To buy some Hunter art.
Painting supplies. Just buy some painting supplies. My daughter can sell at school. She can say I'm famous. Eric, show us your show your kids CFAX. Yeah.
That'll blow their minds. Imagine that having to wait for the next page.
Just dial up. I played the dial up thing for them the other day, and they just were like, what is that? Yep. And Mark just said it. Play them the dial up sound. You're right. Cassette tape and pencil. Good times. Just rewinding it. My daughter actually asked me today. She goes, "How long is a record, or how does it last?" I said, "What do you mean? It's like 45 revolutions per minute?" She's like, "No. Each side. How long is each side?"
Yeah.
I can't remember.
No, I don't know what the maximum of an LP is.
There was, I'm sure Mark will know. Chris says, Eric, getting out of your chair to change the TV channel. It's good times. The click, the actual click of the clicker. And Britt says, forget mirrors. He has a live video feed of himself imposed self-sexy self in his shower just for him to watch back. Holds back vomit reaction. He's filming himself.
That's what you got to do for art. There's got to be some reason to film yourself in the shower.
Yeah, he's probably doing it for old time's sake because he's the one that started the whole NSA, spying on us kind of thing. So just for the good time's sake.
That's why he's got the mirror
good
there.
Times. That's what's there. There's a camera behind it. So I think we're pretty much caught up. The Ko-fi link is there if you'd like to support us. Subscribe and like and all those kind of fun things.
Yep. Keep the messages coming through. YouTube.com/comic solving problems, hopefully is where you are. But if you're on another stream, get there to get involved in the chat. There's the Ko-fi link as well. Instead of typing that in, if you go to the YouTube page, which actually will involve typing in a link, you can find that it's clickable in the comments. That probably didn't really help you at all, did it? On to the next problem. It is coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. It is coming home. And when it gets home, it's probably going to have to isolate for 10 days unless it's been double jabbed. It's football. So it's time to do this.
Sports. 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 Sporty sports. Sports, sports, sports.
Sports. We're doing sports.
We are on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if ever there's two broadcasters to be talking about sports, yes, some excellent games with much analysis to be had. Eric, did you watch it?
I did watch the game, yes.
More than me, so... it is difficult, but even I'm getting swept up in this because I like the winning side of it. We are heading to the final. It's the first time in 55 years that England has been in what they've been calling an international football competition. That really requires a little asterisk, and down the bottom, most other countries weren't invited. But other than that, it's great to be in the final. I still don't care about football, but I do enjoy beating other countries. It just saves a lot of time for any other reasons to be upset. In fact, do you know what? I think a lot of that weird hostility came out when we were playing Germany, and England managed to beat Germany for the first time in ages, not losing at penalties. It's amazing. If you win before the penalties, it makes it a lot easier. Why do we not think of that before? But I heard someone saying, right, firstly, it's not the fault of the caller I'm about to talk about. In general, people were giving it the old 2 world wars and 1 World Cup stuff. And I heard a caller on LBC saying, well, whenever I hear people say, I don't know where they're from, whenever I hear people say 2 world wars and 1 World Cup, it makes me think, you've not been very good at football for so long. Yeah, solid point, but we've also not won a world war for longer. Do you really want to make this about refreshing the stats? It seems weird. But anyway, that win was good. Managed to beat Germany. Might have changed things in the UK for a while. And then we saw people really getting into the game. I think last night's game, was it last night when it was on? Yeah. Last night's game really started to change the mood in the country. Here's a picture of one supporter. Boris, it's either him or his missus is looking at the wrong end of the pitch. I'm not sure what's happening, but they're not watching the same game. And also, that does not look like it. He clearly isn't the kind of person who just wears a football kit top. I mean, he's got a suit and tie on underneath that. This is what Batman would look like. No one ever talks about this. But this is, if Batman tried to wear like a normal suit over his Batman gear, that's the kind of mess he would have got. We also saw other people dressed up as they watched last night's game. Here's one of my favourites. The 2 lions. If there's only 2 of you, don't dress up as 3 lions. So close.
Well, maybe the third one is self-isolating.
Yeah. Have you no pride? But some other people celebrated the win. There's a picture of some people on that is not socially distanced on the number 9, is it? They were getting up on the bus. There were people in London who celebrated England's win by firing off flares. If I were breaking the law, I wouldn't want to draw attention to myself. It's the worst thing you could do. But we beat Denmark. And if ever there is a nation that you're allowed to hate, it's Denmark. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why you can be judgmental. I can tell you why you can say it's good that we managed to beat them. It's because it was only 2015 that they banned having sex with animals. Oh, that was really hanging in there for a while, that law, wasn't it? Which actually means, when you know that how much the Danes love having sex with animals, turning up to the football match dressed like that was flipping risky. That's where the other line ended up. He's never going to speak of that again. So, it's great that we've managed to win. Oh, I say great. There's been some problems. For example, the UEFA's open up disciplinary proceedings against England because firstly, we were booing their national anthems. What you doing? Why? There's no reason to be booing. You're getting to watch some of your football. Cheer up. But the worst thing was this laser pen thing that hit their goalie. And that does seem pretty wide for a laser pen. That would ruin a meeting. That's not going to highlight one part of the flip chart, is it? That's going to highlight an entire word. That might not be the big issue. But I've got to be honest. There's part of me thinks adding lasers to football might make football better. A bit more like Running Man, give us some weapons in there. So far, the police haven't worked out who it was, but my money's on this guy. So that's where we are at the moment. I think for anyone looking forward to the weekend, it'd be great if we won, but if we don't, it's okay. Don't get angry. Like, I remember growing up, we got knocked out of some World Cup and there were riots in London, in Birmingham, in Manchester, and in Mansfield. And that's exactly the kind of place I'm from. Someone tipped over a car. And you know that's going to happen. If we get beaten by Italy, someone's going to be flipping over a Fiat. And it's easier to flip those than it is if we'd have been beaten by Germany. So yeah, people are going to be walking in shops, throwing Dolmio on the floor. Don't do it. There's no reason to be that nasty. Play fair. Unless we manage to beat them, don't go and shake the hands of the Italian goalie because he has got, and this is crazy, spiked gloves. Don't fall for it. He's trying to get you with his dirty-ass tactics. Let's have a handshake before the game. Yeah, jog on, mate. Do you want a neck massage? Well, I know your thing. So there we go. We are up to date with what's happening in the football for now, but it's all going to happen on the weekend. God,
I'm not from here.
Well,
I shouldn't care about the football, but you're an Englishman. This is your people. 1966 and 1996 was a thing which I didn't realize until this week. How can you not?
I saw both.
What were you doing?
I saw both. No, not both, because there was one at the end. I saw two goals, the Denmark one and then the England one, whilst I was in the chip shop last night. And the woman behind the counter eventually went, "You're not into football, are you?" Because everyone else was jumping over the place. I'm like, just doing some crap on my phone. No, not really. I don't really mind.
I'm not into football either, but you get swept up into the spirit of it.
Okay. Mark says, when initially introduced, the 12-inch LP played for about 23 minutes per side. The comic strip Channel 4, released in 1981, has an A side lasting 38 minutes and 4 seconds and a B lasting 31. So solidly over half hour then, at 33 and a third RPM.
Is it smaller on the other side?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. There were only 2 lines because the third has been shot by an American dentist. Nice, Mark. Excellent reference.
Call back.
England's women's team have been in UEFA final twice in that time. Congratulations.
I mean,
it always looks like that someone's going to manage to level up against me like, oh, you're just sexist because you don't care about women's football. If it weren't for the very obvious canvas on which that's painted, I don't care about football. Men's football or women's football, I don't know. If you want to find someone who should have known that they were in the final recently, Eric, apparently you're getting into this beautiful game.
There's a women's team?
For now, until that's not allowed. Laser pen, says Chris Curling, looks like one of your viruses. Whoop-ha. Whoop-ha.
Ah.
Still got it. And football, no thanks, says Chris Curling. I'd rather watch submarine racing. That actually would be nice, wouldn't it? Cats love laser pens, says Brit. The third lion was off having an amazing time chasing it. Brilliant. Runners up in 1984 and in 2009, says our fact checker Mark Randall. So I think we're up to date. But yeah. So do you want us to win?
Yeah, just because the neighbors are Italian.
Yeah, I think.
Don't like the way he looks at me.
I think if we lose now, it'll be worse.
No, I mean, I'd be rooting, but I don't have the kind of animosity like I would be rooting for Scotland. I would be rooting for Wales, but of course, neither of those countries ever get anywhere even near close to a final.
On the same show that I was talking about, where I heard someone being a caller saying it just shows that England haven't been good at football for a while. There was some Scottish caller who called in to say like, I'm backing Denmark, and it was just seems so childish. Like, all right then, enjoy yourself. That's not the kind of animosity that's going to bring down the nation, is it? Oh, what? Someone's going to not want us to win. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. But I have to say, I mean, they did play well enough that even with as little football as I watch or understand, even I could tell they were doing well.
Right. I could tell they were doing well because the number was bigger.
There was a moment when one of the I was doing fake commentary to the kids because I don't have an audience enough anymore, and like saying things like, "Oh, what we got to do here? What we got to do? It's tied. We got to score a goal." And then the TV commentator basically just said, "What these boys need to do right now is score a goal."
Wow.
I could be a sports commentator.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. Because I mean, I don't know how they managed to talk for the whole time because all you need to do is get the ball, score a goal. And that's the commentary for the 2 hours.
And wait.
And oh no, we've lost control of the ball. That's bad. We need to get the ball back.
Yeah.
And now we need to score. We should be sports. Should we do that Sunday? Should we do our own? Should we do? Well, I want to watch the game.
Yeah.
But if I didn't care about watching, maybe we could do that for other sport which is all the rest of it. We could do our own sport commentary. I don't know what the copyright issues would be if we broadcast.
Well, we wouldn't need to broadcast. We just need to do the commentary. So you can watch whatever it is. Yeah. We'd be watching it as well.
Listen to us.
Yeah.
So, let us know in the comments if you would like to see Steve and I do. We could do all the sport.
Yes.
We could start with the big ones like darts and then work our way into the less athletic ones.
Maybe not, because there's a lot of maths in darts and it's always subtraction.
You're good with the maths.
Not the mental arithmetic. That's not proper maths. That's just a party trick.
It's just, but you're the guy that watches math videos.
Yeah, calculus. I like to understand how these equations work in a dynamic way, but I don't care how, if I'm taking 15 A's away from 32 A's, someone else can do the number crunching for me. Can't do any of that.
I think it's algebra.
Algebra? What's algebra?
The math equation thing. What? If X is bullseye plus the other things.
Yeah. So when you're doing calculus, which you will transform that equation either through integration or differentiation, then you might need to take it away from another, if you do integration by parts or if you're doing the product rule.
All right.
You take one.
We won't do darts.
You need algebra skills to do calculus. What you don't need, you do, but I can't do it, is mental arithmetic. It's a party trick. Just because I can't do it.
Okay. So no darts. Snooker.
Yeah. Martin S. says, alternative footy comms is a good idea. Calculus, perhaps not. You say that. Yeah. They're very popular on the internet, these videos that I've been watching. Chris Curling says, Sunday night I'll be taking the skirting boards off the living room and painting behind them. Yeah, enjoy. Martin S. says, Italian neighbour syndrome is a well-known problem. English fry-up versus spank ball.
Yeah. They've got, I wonder if because they've got the Italian flag hanging out their window. And I'm just wondering if that's really safe for them.
Are you sure they're Italian and they're not just Scottish?
No, I do know the difference between the flags.
No. Between those two flags. That they're supporting Italy because they hate England.
No. I've met him. He does talk funny, but it's not that kind of funny.
That could be either way. Victoria says, I'd watch the comic solving problems commentating the final. I'll be watching some paint dry otherwise. So, there's an audience there, but you want to actually enjoy watching it rather than do a fake commentary, and I don't want to have to watch it at all. So it's a difficult Venn diagram overlap.
The thing is, to be fair, we could pre-record ourselves watching it because it's basically all he needs to get the ball. Yeah. Does he still have the ball? Oh, the other guy's got the ball. Better get the ball back.
But then
we could do it that way.
There's a thing that I did on the Time FM show when we were playing, I think it was the Germany one, where let's see if I can do it. It's going to upset everyone else in the house. So I need to get normally I take a few deep breaths first. Let's get those lungs full. That's what we need to chuck one of those into the commentary.
There we go. So we'll have to get feedback. Hopefully, if Charlotte gets to watch the show back, how that compares with your singing.
Yeah. Just holding a note, but not a good note. Mark says, Steve, bad news, it was offside. Not doing that again.
Do it again.
Britt wants to see caber tossing, pancake tossing, and tiddlywinks. You just want all the rude ones, don't you? I vote for that. That's good.
Well, we were a bit rude today.
Were we?
Yes. Your image from that had the masks from the Tom Cruise movie.
They had their masks on.
Not the people behind them. They didn't have very much on at all. Didn't notice that, did you?
No, I did notice that. But what's wrong with that? I'm not showing a child's dinky like you did. I thought they're not even. They're like what, B cups? You get away with that. Say goal in a Gollum voice as Martin S. Not. I don't think I could.
You'd burst your tongue.
Yeah, that's true. There's stitches in this bad boy.
Stitches. The tongue stitches would definitely come out there.
Chris Boot says, right, has Steve crashed? Well, if I need booting, you're the one to do it.
So we should plug next week's show. Which day are we on? I can't remember.
Back to Wednesday?
Back to Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, for a handful more gigs. Wednesday. Shows.
At 9.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, in August, we will be doing the show, but there's going to be some weeks off. But we'll keep you. We'll try and figure out a way to put the schedule on the YouTube channel. We should be doing a mailing list as well, but we haven't figured that out.
Sounds good to me. Ko-fi links on there if you'd like to chuck some money. You know, I held a note for a long time there. It's got to be worth something to someone.
That's worth something. Yes, but we do thank you for the donations you've made and for watching, which is always deeply, deeply appreciated.
Very much so. There's the thing. If you could, keep it going. Any last few comments? What about Shinty? That's worth the license fee. I have no idea what that is. And Victoria wants to watch COVID swatting. What, live? Whoopah! COVID swatting.
And there he knocked it away. He knocked it out of the park, ladies and gentlemen. And that one's got him. It's been there a long time. Is he going to reach it? He does. Go! I can't. The kids are trying to see. I'll break my mic if I get too loud.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, your mic turns off. Brilliant. I think we're up to date. Steve Screeder's frozen. I know. It's all worth every penny of that. Come on. There it is. Yep. So what we were going to do then, before we say goodbye, we're going to play out on a song.
Oh, yeah. You got it ready?
Yeah, and it is this one. Well. So, Britt, because you missed it, I don't know if Victoria was here for it as well, the song that we did earlier on, which was basically, right said Fred, don't like wearing masks. I'm saying it's personal choice. And it sounded a little bit like this.
I'm too vaccine for this mask, but it's all up to me. I'm too vaccine for this gel, too vaccine for hand gel, but I still like the smell. And I'm too vaccine for this bug, but I don't want to hug. And I'm too vaccine for these rules, but I'm not a big tool. I've been vaccinated, you know what I mean, but the word is really vaccinated. It's vaccinated, yeah, but it's too long if I say vaccinated. I'm too vaccine for your tweet, too vaccine for your it's silly, a silly tweet. And I'm too vaccine for this man, too vaccine for this man, but I won't shake his hand. And I'm too vaccine for this song.
Till next time, bye. Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.